This is NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runner's Alley. We're coming to you from the 2018 Division II and III JV State Championships. We're about to witness the boys race. Our meet hub this year is brought to you by B's Tees, both today as well as Friday, where we'll have our JV D1s down in Alvern, Hudson, New Hampshire. We are at Coe-Brown right now, home of the Black Bear course. So a lot of these runners have run the course before, they're pretty familiar with it. We're seeing now they're getting some final instructions. So we are joined by Addison Cox. So give us a little insight of what's going on in your head when you're about to race, you're on the line, these last few seconds.
I just really try to focus on preparing myself to get out, because especially on this course, because it really bottlenecks. Once you get across the field, it really bottlenecks once you get into the woods. So it's really, really important to sprint the first part. So you're in these last few seconds, you're really kind of preparing yourself to do so.
And we did see in the girls' race that both the Coe-Brown team as well as the Oyster River team did make some strides to get out in front of everyone, and it did pay off for them. And of course, those teams battled back and forth the whole race, switching some spots. See our starter now up to his cone, and we're about to get going. And they're off. Your 2018 boys race for D2 and 3 JV State Championship. Right away, I'm seeing a strong move from Coe-Brown. I believe that is Porter Higas, as well as Messinic making some moves to get up front. We'll see how it shapes up at our next spot. And we see our fresh runners coming through now. That is still leading Porter Higas of Coe-Brown.
And Noah Strout of Oyster River.
The kid's a monster.
Right behind them we have another Oyster River, another Coe-Brown. So looking kind of similar to the girls' race so far. And then 2 more Oyster River, 2 more Coe-Brown, 2 Souhegan, Oyster River, Coe-Brown, and Oyster River. So we've seen them, basically the top 5 of each team is hanging right with each other. Good pack of Portsmouth and Hanover. Starting to see a lot of pack running at this point.
There you go, Jethro. There we go, Jace. Start working through these guys.
So it's definitely a big race between Coe-Brown and Oyster River, it seems like at first, but it is pretty early in the race. We're about 800 meters in.
Yeah, the clock right now is at 3:50.
Yeah, so it's looking up to be a really good race.
This is the last race of the season for a lot of these runners, so they're trying their best to leave it all out here in the woods. You can hear a lot of excitement behind us. Hopefully that's helping these athletes to power through some things. Let's go check out what's going on at the 1 mile.
Here we are, New Hampshire Cross Country, coming at you from the 1 mile mark. Leading the way is Porter Higas and a few Oyster River kids.
Let's go, boys. Go ahead, move up.
A couple more.
Move up, Lars.
There's 5 Coe-Brown. I believe Oyster River has 5.
5 Oyster River.
Souhegan has 2.
There's 3rd Souhegan.
548.
Coe-Brown 6 and 7.
Oyster River.
555.
Some more Coe-Brown coming through.
6 minutes. 602. 607. 610.
Oh.
612.
Big
Okay.
group of H.
Yep.
15.
Hanover.
Hanover.
Yep. I think about almost every team has about their top 5 in, so this should be a pretty close race, I believe, between Coe-Brown and Oyster River. What do you think, Gavin?
I agree.
Yeah?
Definitely a close pack up there.
Yep.
I agree
After 2
too.
miles.
There's it's still really open on who's gonna win.
644. 650.
Gavin, what is your strategy when you're coming through this 1 mile mark?
when you're coming to this 1 mile mark, you just want to let yourself go and try to maintain, and then work your way up the hill up there because you have a big hill coming. So you want to keep that speed so you can get up that big hill.
Yeah, same. We've seen a few people speeding down this hill like we saw there. That's really a good key to getting a good time on this. You got to let your legs just fly.
And coming into view now, we do see our top runners. In first is Oyster River,
Patrick Lyons,
followed closely by Porter Higas of Co-Brown, as well as 2 more Co-Brown.
Isaac Wells, and Tyler Rose, followed by Noah Strout, Amani, and Dylan Labonte. And then Aiden Ahern and Lars Hogney, both of Co-Brown. Trevor Sassman followed closely behind.
So that was all Oyster River Co-Brown till that 2 from Souhegan. So very close, still early enough in this race where anyone can take it. So girls, talk to me about mentality with racing when you're that close to your high school rival and you're a little over a mile in. What's going through your head? What are you doing to beat them?
I think that if you just see a racer that is of that team, you just try to get with them and get ahead of them and just race them. Just chasing that red shirt ahead for the Oyster River boys. Chasing the blue shirt ahead for the Co-Brown boys. Every number is important starting now, so they've got to start picking them off.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking for those top 5 to score, and then next couple can displace. Obviously, today being the JV meet, we will see teams with more than 7. Runners after that are non-scoring, will not displace, but they can still definitely have a huge impact on their team.
And here we have Oyster River. The lead is definitely growing a little bit on Porter Higas of Co-Brown, and we're a little bit away from the 2 mile mark, so we'll see how this race shapes up.
Yeah, definitely not unreachable though.
And then there's Oyster River second, Co-Brown's second, and Oyster River and Co-Brown's third. And then right there's Co-Brown's 4th. And then Oyster River's 4th, Noah Strout. And they're 5th, so it's definitely a wicked close race right now. And right there's Co-Brown's 5th. Yeah. So it's definitely pretty intense.
So the key here is going to be that 5th runner for Co-Brown catching up with the 2 in front of him from Oyster River without losing any places to the Oyster River behind him, because the back of Oyster River's top 7 is looking really strong.
Yeah, definitely if Co-Brown wants to be able to win this race, they're going to have to move up a little bit and try to pass as many Oyster River shirts as they possibly can. Because if Oyster River gets, right now it's looking like Oyster River, one of the Oyster River kids might win the individual title, so that'll help give them a low score.
And definitely this next mile is a good opportunity to either extend your lead if you're Oyster River, or try to catch some people for Co-Brown, because you got a long downhill coming up, and then the single track, which is also really good to get in position before the final little quarter mile.
I think that the last mile of this course is definitely a tough one in the end, because you do have a pretty long uphill. You have 2 uphills actually, but I think that also if you use the downhills really well, it can actually play out in your favor.
Here we are at the 2 mile mark of the boys JV race. We have a Co-Brown and an Oyster River boy running neck and neck.
We have another Co-Brown.
Oh, there's Lars Hogney from Co-Brown, and then I believe that's Amani from Oyster River. Oh, there's another Co-Brown and Oyster River. There's 3 solid battles.
These are very key to who's gonna win this race.
Yeah.
And this man right here is
this is Isaac.
Let's go, Isaac.
And then there's a couple Co-Brown, or Oyster River, I mean. And then another Co-Brown.
Yep. So right now the top 12 it looks like it's all Co-Brown.
Yeah. Oyster River and Co-Brown are neck and neck. There's the first 2 non-Oyster River Co-Brown, 2 Souhegans.
Here comes the 3rd Souhegan, a nice pack.
Yep, this is our first real pack that we've seen. There's Shane of Co-Brown. It's Parker and also Shane. What's your strategy right here, Gavin?
So right here you're coming off of the field and then a hill, so you're trying to maintain that. And you're coming downhill again, trying to get back to the other hill over there. So you just want to get speed right here and stay strong.
really.
If you're next to someone, you want to work with them, they're here for sure.
This is where you get some momentum going.
Yeah, you got to continue your momentum. There's about, I believe, 800 meters of just downhill from this point, really.
You just want to let yourself go and try not to slam too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good race.
All of these kids are trying their best. It's a bit of a wet day, so it's a bit slippery, so I'm sure they're wearing a little bit bigger spikes, but you can't really wear too big of spikes on this course because it'll kind of hurt your feet because there's a lot of gravel.
All right, so here we are. We only have about less than a half mile to go at this point.
We've got Porter Higas of Co-Brown getting the lead, followed by Patrick Lyons of Oyster River in second.
So that's a close race. Porter made up ground over the last mile, but he's still within reach for Oyster River.
Porter is a sprinter in outdoor track, so he definitely has that finishing speed.
So we'll see what happens.
So it's going to be interesting. See what happens. And then we have Co-Brown's top three, and there's Oyster River's third right there. Dylan Labonte. Come on, Isaac! And then there's Co-Brown and Oyster River's fourth, so this is definitely shaping up to be a really intense race.
Yeah, so far we've had about 10 runners go through, and they've all been either Co-Brown or Oyster River.
And there is Oyster River and Co-Brown's fifth, and then right behind them is Oyster River's sixth. So it's definitely really, really close right now.
Get tight right now, get tight right now.
Got Noah Strout right here in sixth, Oyster River. And there's Co-Brown's sixth, Cody Tangway.
Cody, go around, become a factor.
So the first 3 or 4 runners for each team look to be pretty even in terms of score, but the back end of this pack could make a big difference if the 5th, 6th, and 7th runners can displace either.
And with a kick coming onto the track, we do see our new leader, Porter Higas of Co-Brown.
Following him is Oyster River.
Smiling as he crosses that line. And then as stated, second, we do have Oyster River's first runner. So again, team battle, we're looking at those two.
Followed by, next is Oyster River. Followed by Co-Brown. And another Co-Brown. And
so
then
very tight team-wise again, back and forth between Co-Brown and Oyster River. So Co-Brown with 3 in. This is Oyster River's third, as well as the fourth right behind. We see them now in our top left view. Close kick with Co-Brown, it looks like. That's a battle to the line. Co-Brown takes it. And then another Oyster River.
followed by Sauhegan's first. Next is another Oyster River.
Oyster River, Co-Brown. Messinic with a good kick to the line. Sauhegan second.
And then
another Co-Brown. They've got their 5+ in. Portsmouth, 2 more Oyster River. Sauhegan, Co-Brown, Co-Brown. Hanover, Portsmouth, Oyster River. Again, this is the last race of the season for these guys, so they're giving it all they got, especially this last 100 meters on this track.
Then there's Co-Brown and another Co-Brown.
Hanover right behind, and another good battle between Hanover and Oyster River. Those 2 boys sprinting together to get home.
There's Portsmouth, then Hanover, another Portsmouth, another Co-Brown, and then another Portsmouth.
Seeing a lot more kicks on the track this race than we did with the girls. That is pretty typical of the boys. Just slightly different mentality. Not the most efficient to be kicking all out on the track. It means you had a little bit of something, but certainly does get the crowd revved up, and it makes for a good finish. See, the rain has stopped. Still pretty cold. Do have some blue skies out though, so a little bit favorable for the boys race than the girls. Always great to see a lot of the varsity athletes for each of these schools out on the course supporting their JV team. Expect to see kind of the reverse roles next week at the state meet, where the JV usually is there supporting the varsity.
Yep. And here comes Co-Brown with some Hanover and Portsmouth. Then Oyster River.
So when you're out on the course running, what does the crowd do to you? Does it excite you? Do you hear anything? Do you hear your teammates, or do you just focus for your coaches?
Honestly, I don't really hear much of the cheering that goes on. I try to really focus on the coaches though, but it's kind of hard since it's really loud, so usually.
Yeah, we know, especially going around in the woods, that coaches do have their particular spots they like to be in, kind of away from the general crowd, so that they can communicate those messages to their athletes. And as the boys start to thin out, we're going to close things out for the JV, D2, and D3 races. Again, this has been NewHampshireCrossCountry.com, powered by Runners Alley, at the 2018 JV D2 and D3 boys varsity race meet hub, sponsored by Bees Tees over in Keene, New Hampshire.